So we get people in the room and get some opinions going, and then I'm going to get started right at 8 o'clock, as I usually do. So I just wanted to come on just early to let some people start getting into the room. I've texted a few people. I am going to go on TikTok as well tonight. I'm trying something different with TikTok, so I hope it all works out okay. All right, there we go. Turn this down a little bit. Turn this down, this volume off. Okay. So I see one person made it. So tonight is going to be pretty much hello, my friends, my buddy, Mark. So we're going to be having a little discussion, and then we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to write some things down while I got y'all on the phone, while I can remember them, because you know me, I'm old and forgetful. So I'm going to write some things down while we wait for 8 o'clock. I'm going to write down, let's see. I got to write down some dates so I remember them, because I get confused after a while. Put my glasses on while everybody gets into the room with me, and we can have some fun. Let's see. So numerology. When is that class? That class is Friday, 1/9 from 6 to 8. Saturday, 1/10 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then Monday, 1/12. Oh, that quick? I think Magni made a mistake. That's not supposed to be 1/12. Oh well. We're going to have to do 1/12 because he made that mistake. It was supposed to be the following Monday, the 19th. Whoops. 6p to 9p. See, I'm glad I checked my website. Hi, everybody. I'm checking and looking at things that my hubby did, and he put the wrong date, so I'm going to have to do the date he put, because that's what everybody's thinking. Party, and that is 80. And that is 150. Oh, readings in the bungalow. Got to bring that up. That's readings in the bungalow. 2/7. I thought that was 2/6. I gotta check my hubby, guys, because he's putting wrong dates on here. No, so I have to go by what he puts, because that's what people think. And he's not. Oh, it is the 7th. Okay, I thought it was the 6th. Okay, so he's right on that. And then where's my there's my mediumship class. And I had that one right. 124 and 125. That's 300. And that's mediumship. And I got the stuff up there for the cruise. Okay. And then the social club. We're meeting on right before I go to Vegas. I remember that. So let me look at the calendar over here. And that's going to be here too. Let me look at the date. Thank you guys for joining early and come and chat with me. I'll be right with y'all. It's going to be Tuesday. Oh, Tuesday the 13th. So 1/13 is Orleans. We're going to meet first 7 p.m. I think. Let me make sure that he put that for the time. Classes and events. It's bungalow readings. Liddy Cruise, Orleans. That's the membership. He didn't post a time for that. So I'll have him do that. Okay. I am with y'all now. We got 3 minutes to go. Let me get my phone ready on TikTok, and then we can start having some chit chats. Okay, so I got TikTok. We gotta turn this way. Put this like this. Okay. Well, I got the cord going over there, but that's okay. Anyway, so the mediumship is going to be the 24th and 25th. Numerology is where he made the mistake. It was supposed to be the 19th, not the 12th. But I guess since he already posted the 12th, we'll have it the 9th, the 10th, and the 12th. The last day was supposed to be on a Monday, but it was supposed to be a Monday a week, more than a week later, so people had time to work on and interpret their charts. But now I'm just going to have to make them hurry and do their charts over the weekend while they're at home. And we can come back Monday night and interpret. So I'm going to help everybody create their own chart in the class, and then they'll create a movie star that they like. And then we'll look at some movie stars' lives. I got to put my glasses on so I don't miss the time. Anyway, so that's going to be the plan. I will give everybody the correct dates. I will. And thank you, Mark, my buddy, for going on to YouTube and following me there too. I have a couple other people who might be going on YouTube tonight, so I know that I'm getting those messages from there as well. So that's really cool. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and log into TikTok Live because it looks the same to them. All right. And then we're going to get ready. We're going to go live. All right. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining Touching Eternity, the podcast. It is a day earlier today. This is 24 hours because I'm doing the Christmas Eve thing tonight because tomorrow's Christmas Eve. So we're going to be, I'm going to come on tomorrow night and maybe talk about something with Christmassy for you guys. But I don't expect to have a lot of people on tomorrow night because of it being Christmas Eve. So that's why I've been coming on a lot. I will continue to do bedtime stories with Sid. Hey, Jamie. Tonight will be episode 3. If you miss any of the bedtime stories, they are recorded on TikTok, and they're also on Facebook, and they're also on YouTube. And that is Bedtime Stories with Sid. And you get to see me in my robe right before I go to bed, and I come in here and tell you a little bit of a story about my life. And for those of you who are following me tonight, I will share a little bit of information with you with the purpose behind the bedtime stories are. So I am collecting this, I'm actually telling all the stories that I've experienced in my life. And I'm not going to tell you all the whole plot, but it's all going to be part of a series of stories that's going to be published into a book. And so this is going to just be a really cool story. And there are all kinds of twists and turns. And the stories I've been telling you lately, these are all true life event stories. All of these are, very, they're part of my journey into the spirit world and into understanding where, the energy and the vibrations of love and life and death. And so you're going to get to hear a lot of stories and a lot of talk about those. And each story is its own chapter in its own section in the book. And so hence why I'm doing the stories, because I'm going to collect these all, and then I'm going to put them all into writing and get it published. So that is the premise of bedtime stories with Sid, is so I can get them organized, so that then when I go to start getting everything written out and formatted for the book, that it all falls into place. And guess what the book is going to be called, y'all? Touching Eternity, the book. So it's, so I've kind of branded that name, Touching Eternity, and it's, You know, it's my book, it's my cruise, it's my podcast name. You know, it's the event that I hold every year when I get people together to do spiritual work. So Touching Eternity is the key name. And so if ever you see that, you'll probably see, you know, me somewhere in there. So I wanted to get that out there so that everybody understands that. And I'm going to talk about some of the upcoming events, and I do this just to remind people, because in numerology I only need about 2 or 3 people so y'all can work with each other. In mediumship I need 5 people, and I've already got at least 2 or 3 already signed up. So mediumship is of course going to take off. So anyway, on numerology is going to be Friday, January 9th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can join online or you can come in person. It's up to you. Saturday is going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can come in line or you can come in person. And then I thought it was going to be Monday the 19th, but Magni put Monday the 12th. Once the whole class is here, we'll see if everybody is okay with moving it to the 19th. But since he put it on the 12th, it's going to be the 12th. Those people are coming to the class. If they think they can get a chart done by the 12th and want to do it a week early to get it behind them, that's fine. But I'm not changing the date unless everybody has to agree to it and be available to come, because the last day is the best day. Because the last day of numerology, during the class, you're going to build your chart, and it's going to teach you where everything goes. When you come back, you're going to be building a chart of someone else. And then you're going to come back and do interpretations. And while I'm thinking about it, let me get something to show you real quick. Take this over here. Yeah. Let me get it. Hold the chair back over here. So, hello again. So you do need 2 books for numerology. And these are not books you're going to read like from cover to cover. You may, over time, because they're reference books. And the first one is the complete book of numerology, and it is by David A. Phillips, PhD. This is a very old book. You can get these on eBay. You can get them on Amazon. I don't even know if you can get them in Barnes & Noble because they're very old books. So they're not that expensive. If you search, you can get both of these books for under $20 if you search. So this is the complete book of numerology, and Jordan, the numerology, the romance in your name. So there's different parts of the charts, and they're in both of these books, and it tells you like the meanings. It tells you where things are. It explains how to do things. You can see I got all the pages, done, and then I'm sending you a bunch of material for numerology in an email. Those people who join numerology will. Magni just texted me. Let's see if it's something about the video. He says, we finally left the gates. He has been stranded in Dallas all day. But anyway, so the books are mainly for they're reference books that you can look up the meanings. You can look up where things go. And so they're really, really important that you get those books. And when you sign up for the class, those books are there. Hey, Cindy. So, again, numerology is going to be January 9th, 6 to 8 p.m. Saturday, the 10th, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then Monday, the 12th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it may change a little bit if everybody agrees to move it. They want more time. Because charts, when you first start doing them, take a long time to do. Because it's a lot of boxes with a lot of numbers. And all those boxes have a meaning. And all those numbers add up and have a meaning. So it's really, really... Many of you have taken it with me already, so y'all know. Oh, and if you're retaking it a second time, and you can validate to me that you've taken it, because you know me, I have rosters for a lot of my classes, but if I know you took it, I will refund you half. The mediumship class, I'm not. This is a new mediumship class. It's not the one that I've taught for quite some time. This is a completely different level 1. This is going to focus more on mental mediumship. The other class got into some of the science behind it. The other class I taught went through all the different styles and types of mediumship. So, and it was like 5 days long. This is a weekender, and it's intensive, and you're gonna work. So that's why I need 5 people. You're gonna work. When you leave that class, you should be at least comfortable with giving information. Okay, that's the least you should be, because the hardest thing to break in your mediumship career, or your mediumship development, that's a better word to use, development, is to not be afraid to give the information that you get, to be able to verbalize it and speak it and say it. So those are, that's good. That's going to be January 24th and 25th, and you can take that online, or you can take it in person. If you want to come over. We'll have, we do break for lunch. There is a lunch break, and we are videoing to put these on, where you can purchase the video of them. So it's going to be, that's why we're doing them live and in person. The last time I taught numerology, I did it live. I mean, it was online. Most people joined me online. We had maybe one person here. Everybody else was online, and it went beautifully. I think I only had one student that couldn't get the couldn't get the triangles for nothing. But other than that, everybody else seemed to do really good with it. And that student knows who she is. She may be watching tonight, because I always tease her about that. So anyway, that's mediumship and numerology in January. Those are the classes that I will be teaching. If you want to join us, join us. Also in January, on the 13th, is going to be the Orleans Paranormal Social Club. Because of all the things that have been going on, I'm going to hold it at my house this time. So if you want to come. It's going to be for 7 p.m. I'm hoping that we get down to some business and we make some definite plans. I am only, like you say, the banker. I'm only the treasurer for the club, so I don't have a lot that I can do or say, because I'm only one member. We have a president, we have a vice president, we have sergeants at arms, we have secretaries, we have a historian. We have a lot of active members in this group, and so I will only make suggestions. But I got a cool one. I got a big one. I just got an invite from a friend of mine in the UK, way in the northern UK, not near London, much more norther. Looks at me, boy, that the Cajun coming out time, boy. Anyway, no, more north, a lot more north. Not like. So there's a pub up there that is haunted. They just had some seances up there. They just had some things going on up there. This is a place where they used to imprison people, and people were shackled. They did a lot of executions. There's a lot of activity on this land. So I'm getting with this person to try to arrange a trip in off season, so it's not so expensive, for us to travel over to the UK and go do a paranormal investigation, and also do a sitting with spirit, which is also called a seance. Not a physical seance, because I don't do physical seance stuff, but we can sitting if a spirit is considered a seance. So we can, now some physical things do happen around me, but I can't do it on call. Like I can't say, hey, it's going to happen, but they do. And many of you have witnessed that in sitting with me. But anyway, so we're going to talk about that. But again, I need people to buy into. I need people to like, we talked about going to the forts. Great. We talked about it, but I am not the president of this club or the vice. I'm only the treasurer. So we got to get everybody on board with going to places. I do know that we're doing an event, and I keep forgetting. I should have looked it up. We're doing something January 17th in Shreveport and I don't know how somebody post that if y'all know it. Magni posted it last time. It's an event we're doing in Shreveport where we're doing an investigation in a haunted hotel, the Remington, and we're doing, I think I remembered it, and we're doing an investigation. We're doing a gallery. There'll be readings there. There'll be healings there and storytelling there. So it's a whole evening of events starting at 5 p.m. and going to around 9 p.m. I believe the cost of a ticket is $80 for like 4 hours of entertainment. That's pretty good, because you're going to be doing a paranormal investigation. You're going to be doing there'll be someone doing readings there. There will be some healings being done as well, and then there's going to be story time, and there's going to be a mediumship gallery. So you're going to have a whole bunch of activities going on between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. And so come join us in Shreveport at the Remington. It is posted. I don't know if it's posted. It should be on my website. Anyway, I think Magni handles all that. I'll make sure that he gets it up there. But we do have it on Facebook. So please come join us in Shreveport, Louisiana. And then we'll talk a little bit about all the different things that we can go do. We also have been invited by one of our members to do an investigation at the Marie Laveau house. It was just reconstructed. And so it ought to have a lot of cool energies. When you do that kind of construction work, it kicks up the energies. So I think now would be a really cool time if we want to investigate that. And most of you know who Marie Laveau is. If you don't, look her up. She was the voodoo queen of New Orleans, but voodoo is not what people think it is. So let me start with that. And I'm not going to have that conversation tonight. I have a guest who's an expert on that. We can have her over, and she can tell you all about Marie Laveau and the true Marie Laveau, not with history, and people have used her name to create scare so they can make money. But anyway, so we have all those wonderful things coming up, which I'm really, really excited about being a part of. We also were supposed to be doing a gallery on the 11th, which is Sunday at House of Blues. I don't know if that's still a thing after all the traumas that had happened just recently. That's going to probably be postponed. I will talk to the other team members who were invited to do that event on the 11th at the House of Blues. So I will keep you guys posted. There's so much that I can't always keep up with it. That's why I have a Stacy and I have a Magni, because they help me stay up on everything and help remind me of what I need to do. So tonight's bet. So for those of you that have been following me, these stories are kept on TikTok and they're kept on my YouTube. Facebook only keeps them for a little while when I do the bedtime stories. Guys, they last 10 minutes or less, and they all are small segments of the things that I've experienced, the many, many miracles. And it's kind of like the journey that brought me to this place today where I'm at. And I'm very blessed. I have a lot of beautiful friends and a lot of beautiful spiritual people that I am very close with, and we just have a really, really good time, and I am blessed. I could not have asked for a better life. So I need to say that to you too. So thank you for your love and all of your watching and listening to all my stories. And but tonight's story, so those of you who have been watching Bedtime Stories with Sid, we're back in the 60s, and we took this one little piece that had 3 different characters, and I've told the story of 2 of the characters already. So tonight is going to be the stories that involve the 3rd character from that era. And then, this is just the beginning. Like, it really, we're going to get into a lot of the readings that I've done, the investigations that I've done, the houses that I've cleansed, the possessions of people that I've dealt with in my career. All that's going to be, and again, some of them are fun, some of them are a little woo, and some of them, some of them are exciting, and some of them are just plain miracles. So again, every story, this is something other than the stories from the 60s when I was a kid. In any of my stories beyond the 70s are validatable by other people, because I've had people witness these things with me. I wasn't alone. And so that's what makes bedtime stories so cool, because if it was just me up here saying these things, you'd be like, he's making that up, or that didn't really happen. But hey, Jill, but I can actually tell you that the stories I'm telling you, 99% of them have been witnessed, and sometimes by hundreds of people. not just, greater than 100 people. I don't want to say hundreds, but greater than 100 people would be in an area and these things would happen and people would witness them. So, the stories that I'm telling are all true stories. These are things that I did experience. And so it's going to be quite the journey. Quite the journey. And just hearing the stories, like I told you guys, it is all going to be part of a book, but the book has a lot more. The book has a lot more. The book's going to weave in, like they do with movies, like pieces of information that are a little bit fictitious. The book will, to create a whole story, because we got to link all these stories together. And so there'll be a little mystical stuff in that. Nothing too outrageous, but just something so it can all be linked and flow together. So, and have a cool ending. You got to have a cool ending. But anyway, just saying. So that's the plan. So I hope you join me. I will be on tonight again at 10 o'clock. I will always try to give you a warning. Hey, Dina, I will always, come on and give you a warning that I'm going to be coming on. And if not, TikTok, like I said, if you go to my profile on TikTok, all the stories will be there. Hey, Glenda, all the stories will be there on TikTok and on my YouTube. So they're always there. Even if Facebook loses them, they will be on the other two channels. So you can go in and listen to them. And like they're short. Like I said, I don't want any one of them to be over 10 minutes. And so I'm keeping them at 10-minute mark. Some of them have been 7, 8, 9. That's something I've been running the last 3 nights, 7, 8, 9. So again, tonight we're going to learn about that third character that we heard about in the first story. And then we're going to start pulling it all together and moving into the next decade of my life. So I'm trying to take it by decades because so many things have happened that I can't keep that. I can barely remember all of them. As I'm sitting here talking, I just thought of another one that I hadn't thought about. It was a murder. It was a murder that I got involved in. So the police contacted me to do a murder case, and so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk, so there's a lot of things that are coming up. So stay tuned for Bedtime Stories with Sid. With saying that, also, I should be getting these soon. Like, I'm surprised they're not here. Something's coming in the mail. I keep getting I got 2 things coming in the mail, so I don't know if it's this or the other thing. So my symbology deck is coming. You will be using these in the mediumship course. Also, if you take the mediumship course, don't buy them retail. You can get them cheaper from me because you do get them at 50% off if you take the mediumship course. So when you take the course, you get your first deck at half price. It had to go up a little because, I told y'all earlier, the tariffs made them go up because I get them from out of the country. So tariffs have raised my cost up significantly. So you can still get these at, if you're in the New Orleans area, if you go to Mystic Resource Center, she still has probably about 100 decks left. I would say maybe 75 to 100 decks left. She sells them for $20 a piece. If you buy them from me and I have to ship them to you, the cost is $25 plus shipping because of the tariffs. If you come to my mediumship class, you get these at my cost, which is $12.50. Okay? Actually, it cost me a little more when you add the shipping in, but you're taking the class, so I take a little hit on them. But it's $12.50 if you take the mediumship class. And if you want more than one deck, that's the time to buy it. Because after that, after you take the class, that's it. You got to pay regular price if you lose some more. Use them so much because I know people have bought 3 and 4 decks of these already. And they're a lot of fun. For those who haven't seen my people in tech, those who haven't seen, these are just symbols. And what we use in colors and symbols, and you can do readings with these, like almost like a tarot reading, and see what you're feeling. It's a connection. It is a connection tool, and you can also use it in your mediumship when you're creating your language with the other side. When I see this, what does this make me think of? What do I feel when I see this? What do I smell? What do I taste? What do I hear? What would this sound like? You can use that to help work with your mediumship side. Hey, Christy. So Anyway, I saw Christy the other day. We caught each other doing bad things. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it like that, Christy. Let them all think, baby. But anyway, so, guys, I have a lot of events coming out. No, I finished my fourth class, still straight A's, and it was a tough one. It was really tough for me, but I enjoyed it because it was challenging. For those of you who know, I'm back in college again at the ripe old age of 64. I'm getting my master's. I'm back in and doing good. I just started my fifth class today. I registered and then pulled the instructions for the first assignment, and then I'm gonna get started on that assignment probably tomorrow and Christmas Day. I'll probably knock out one of them. But anyway, I'll spend all day working on it. That's what I'm gonna do for Christmas, work on schoolwork. So anyway, if you're following me on TikTok, yes, that's it. Hit that heart button. Give me some love. Show me some hearts. Let me see if I get another penny out of TikTok. Every time I go live on TikTok, I make a penny. Yay. I've never collected it. I'll let them keep it. They probably need it more than me. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate each and every one of you who come here and play with me at 8 o'clock at night, and we talk a lot about spiritual things and the paranormal. Now we're starting to cover a little bit more of, because now we have a lot of paranormal people that are into paranormal that join us. But let's talk about paranormal. So that's going to be tonight's topic. Cheers. And I remember when I met my great friend who introduced me to my other great friend, Misty Gaither. When I met her for the first time, I remember I kept telling her in my interview that for me, there is no such thing as paranormal. It's normal. And the reason why we call it paranormal is because it's something that we're shielded from and we're taught not to see it. And I like to share this story, which will eventually be in the book. And when I start talking about clients, people experience miracles every day. There is a miracle happen around you every day. The problem is you don't recognize it, or you don't see it because your mind is somewhere else. Your consciousness is somewhere else. So you don't really see the miracle that's unfolding right in front of you. And I didn't understand that completely until I was reading a group of people, and I was with my work wife, and we were reading a family, and it was about maybe 6 to 8 of them, and they were like on the sofas, on chairs, and we're at their house on the West Bank here in New Orleans, and we're bringing through their loved ones, and we're talking, and we're giving them validations, and we're talking to their loved ones on the other side, and all of a sudden this phone just went onto the floor, and I thought someone dropped it, so I picked it up, and I brought it back to the person on the sofa, and they said thank you. And we continued, and we're working, and we're talking, and we're bringing in people's loved ones, and we're talking. Boom, there goes the phone again. But this time we went further. So I'm like, I grabbed it, I brought it back. And this happened like 4 times. It happened quite frequently. And we just kept going because we were reading this family. So we were staying focused on connecting to the loved ones of this family. And when it was over, the family looks at me and my work wife and goes, how come we never have any miracles in our lives? And I looked at my work wife and she looked at me and we looked at them and I went, what do you mean? Do cell phones normally fly in your home? And they looked at me and they were like, you could see the shock in their face. And I said, you did see that phone come from over there, and each time it flew out further and further, and I just picked it up and handed it and kept reading you. You did not witness that, and it didn't. And that's what I mean by, unless you're focused on what's going on around you, you may not receive the miracle or experience the miracle because your consciousness is not focused in that. I recognize them because I see them every day. I literally see some form. I see shadows. I see things move. I watch doors open, close. I watch, you're going to hear multiple stories when I get into my bedtime stories about all these things that I see literally on a daily basis. There is not a day that doesn't go by that I don't see something that I classify as a miracle or something from the other side. And people say, well, why you? I'm not special. You know, it doesn't happen to me because I'm special. It happens to me because I'm aware. I'm conscious of the spirit world. And they know that. I'm conscious that they're with me. I accept from my heart that they are with me. I have let my fear go of being around people from the other side because they're not dead. They've just lost their physical shell. Their consciousness remains in memories. It remains in love, which is a very strong vibration. It remains in energy, in the form of energy, in the form of vibration. And to this day, now my mom has been deceased since 1988. We still talk in the shower. You hear me say something? We talk in the shower every day. We have a conversation. It's not like I'm talking to you and you would be answering me back, but I put what I need her to hear. I say it, and then I stay silent, or I'm silent in my mind, because a lot of times I don't say it out loud. I'll say it because they can hear your memories, and I'll get a response. But I'm used to that because I have studied mediumship. I have learned and trained and learned how to put out results and get results back. You know, so if you tell me you're not getting any messages, I'm going to automatically, or you say I never get anything that happens to me. The only thing I can think of is you're not aware, because it happens every day, all the time. You discount what happens. You find a feather, you say, a bird must have dropped it on the way. But how many people get a feather, and how'd that bird get inside your house? You know? You might find one outside, but you know, again, I take everything as a blessing. I am not a negative person, and that has a lot to do with it. And I tell it to people. Learn to take things as a blessing. Learn to get away from speaking negatively, and don't, because if you do that constantly, you're putting that in your environment, and so you got to live in that. I have my home is my peace and my joy, because I have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing here. You know, my life is blessed. I have good friends. I have good people. I have great relationships. I have, because I don't let the small stuff bug me. If someone just gets toxic around me, I step back. I still love that person. I just step back. Because that person has to go through what they need to go through. They need to, go through their journey in this life. And again, I can help them if they come to me and ask me for help. And, I do my consultations free, so there's no excuse about it. If you go online, you'll see I do 30-minute consultations at no cost. I'm not going to flip a card. I'm not going to talk to you dead people. But we can talk about your spirituality. We can talk about what's going on. We can talk about how to do self-improvement. We can do all those things. So again, when you come from a place of love and you wish love to people and you understand people, but when they make you angry, you back away, because they're bringing disturbance to your peace, to your place of peace. And look at folks' laughter and love. Those are just some of the most powerful vibrations that you can deal with. When you transition, the only thing you're going to take with you is love. That is the only vibration that can cross to that or transition to that other side for you. So if you're someone without love, and I'm talking true love, I'm talking deep heart love. If you're someone without that, when you transition, you're going to know it, because it's going to feel kind of empty over there, and you're going to have to learn about that. You have to figure out what happened. What did I do? And that's when the memories, will start popping in, and then you try to go into your. Well, I'm not going to get into the quantum physics of it all, because that's a whole nother discussion. But you know, some people will try to help develop themselves in another timeline. We'll say it that way. And that's how I look, you know, because there's no such thing as past lives, folks. You know, we thought that for a while, but then we had to come to the realization that, you know, and some people will say, oh, I'm wrong, but time is man-made. So if time's man-made, how is there a past and how is there a future? Think about it. You know, just saying, time was created by man. So what there are timelines, and the people like your people who can go into deep trance and deep things, they can time jump. And we've actually witnessed and had a couple of, and that's gonna be one of the stories in the book that y'all will hear about you know, that when the people live doppelganger, when they live in two different dimensions at the same time. The two of you live in the same dimension at the same time. We've actually had witnesses or evidence of that does happen, and that's going to be one of the stories. And again, it's one of my witnesses. Actually, I think one of the people in here witnessed it with me. Miss Dina. Miss Dina was there for that, and she was just in the room. So, like I said, all my stories at night that I tell you guys at 10 o'clock are all real stories, things that have happened. We're going to talk about a lot of metaphysical stuff and a lot of paranormal, and some of it's spooky because there's been some challenging energies, I'll put it that way, that I've had to deal with, and so you're going to learn about those. I'm not giving names or anything like that, but I will talk about the incidents that has happened, and that's my bedtime stories. And I'm going to try to do it as many nights in a row as I can. But I can't promise that it's going to be every night, but I'm going to try to come on as much as I can at 10 o'clock at night, right before I go to bed. You'll see me in my little robe, and I'll be sitting in here with my little angel light lit, and I'll be giving you another bedtime story from Sid. And then I go hit the hay, you know? But anyway, so I wanted to share that with all of you. And tonight, just like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about miracles and about spirituality. And if y'all have any questions, this is the time to ask. Like when I'm doing these lives, if you have a question about anything with the metaphysics, anything about mediumship, anything about physical, mental, trance, any questions that y'all have about numerology, any of that, this is the time to bring those up. I know most of y'all here because y'all want to see if I'm going to do some readings, and I do got them. Oh, look what happened. Look, relationship, love on the bottom. Love and marriage. I have a good friend. I have one of my good friends' daughter getting married in a couple of days. I'm going to leave it like that, because I'm not putting names out there, but congratulations to them as well. May they have a beautiful life together. I heard that, my friend. But anyway, I'm pointing at her because she's on here listening. But anyway, so good luck to dead people. Good luck to my good friends. Also, folks, like I said, I am here definitely to answer your questions about anything with numerology, color, trance, meditation, seance, anything metaphysical. I can help you and answer it and see what if there's any questions. We can talk about miracles. Y'all know. I'll tell y'all all every time I'm online. I tell you about my course in energetics. Of all the courses I teach, that's the one you should take. Oh, hey Daphne, I just realized you're on. That is that is the class you should take. It is the most eye-opening, and it will help you tap in. If you start practicing it, you will tap in easier to your abilities. It is the class I do recommend. I'll be teaching level 1 and level 2 one more time in February, and I will be teaching level 3 in September, and then we'll be having a lot of fun. Yes, Jill says energetics is great. Yes, it is. It is an eye-opener. It is an eye-opener. Now, what I didn't mention that we got coming up in April, since I got Jill here with me and Dina here with me. Well, Dina's going to be with us on the 17th in Shreveport. And Zeta says yes. Zeta took it. She says yes. Energetics is she goes, yes, it's great. Energetics is, if there's anything that you feel, what is the first class I should take? Energetics. If you're looking to get into anything of this, the very first class you should take is Energetics, because it's going to help open you up to everything. It's going to help you to start setting those boundaries. It's going to help you start understanding who you are and who are the people around you. That's what Energetics will do for you. And when we finish in September, it will also be offered online as a package deal where you can actually purchase it and just take the class on your own. So it's still a very new class from I've been teaching it. I've been teaching Energetics now 2 years, and I've just done level 1 and level 2. This year I'm introducing the last piece, and then we're going into where we're going to have Energetics conferences, where everybody that's taken it, we will get together and meet at a lovely hotel for a weekend and spend the time together and work on each other and help everybody grow from that. So that is the plan with Energetics. Okay, also coming in April, and have a bunch of you here that's going to be on this with us, is the cruise, the Touching Eternity Sense Healing Cruise. If you're watching here on TikTok, please go to my website, sid-patrick.com, look at the Touching Eternity Sense Healing Cruise for 2026, and come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Even if you don't want to take the classes, come join on the cruise. Be around people of similar interests. I had one person email me yesterday. She wants to select her classes. You can do that. It's a little more expensive to go a la carte, but if you only want to take one class or two, it might be worth it. But believe me, there's a special right now. So once you purchase the cruise, you can purchase the classes. The classes are, if you pay before February 1st, you get a $50 discount. So it's $350, and that's for all the classes and all the events pretty much for that price. And so, but if you do it a la carte, it's a lot. I think a la carte, most of the classes are like $100 a class. So if you want to take more than 3 classes, you might as well go for the $350 and then get to go to like the seance and the mediumship gallery and all that, because it's all included. Hey, Veronica. Anyway, so I do recommend, this is going to be a fun time. We've already got a nice group going. So if you want to join us and have a lot of fun with us and come play, and we're recommending two excursions. One is going to take you to go get a spiritual cleanse, and we're going to do some sensing in that area. That's a little bit for the paranormal people, because that whole place they take it has all kinds of history. And so we're going to see if you can sense and feel it, and then we're going to come back and have a conversation about it. And then the second place we're going is for the healing portion of our cruise. I'm taking you to see Miss Aurora. She is a healer in the rainforest of Belize, and she makes all these herbal medicines from the rainforest, and she educates you about that, shows you how they made. She takes you and introduces you to some of the plants that are used in the medicine making. And so that's really, really cool too. And it goes with our theme, which is Sense Healing Cruise. And so we're gonna have a seance. We're gonna have a mediumship gallery. We're gonna have an investigation for the people who are into the paranormal, where you got to see if you can pick all the evidence out of a room. You got to go into a room that's been has some criminal activity, and we're going to see if you can pick out all the evidence. And the one who gets the most evidence will get a prize. So there's all kinds of fun events that are going to be going on the boat with us. And plus you have the cruise and all the stuff on the cruise. And we did schedule things so that you could still enjoy things on the cruise, that you can still go do other things, that you're just not all day, all night taking classes. There's 2 full days of classes. There's a couple in the afternoons when we go into shores in some places, and there's some little events. And then other than that, that's it. You have all the other time to spend on the boat doing what you like. You can play games, bowl, party, drink, dance, eat to your bust. And we're all going to be there together having a great time. We do have a funny meet and greet t-shirt contest. Now let me tell you how aware people are. And these people are watching. So all my friends that are watching here, I'm about to scold you just a little bit. So I sent out, for those that are going on the cruise, I sent them out an email and I asked them to give me their name. If they want to do this t-shirt thing, give me their name, their room number, and their t-shirt size, for because you're going to swap with somebody and you're going to buy them a you're going to make or buy. You don't have to buy. You can make them one, but you're going to make a risky t-shirt, that, something that's going to be funny, hysterical, and you got to wear it to the meet and greet. So nobody but one person actually read it all the way through and gave me their t-shirt size. I did have one person say they didn't want to participate in that, and that's fine. But all the other people, even the people who gave me the idea to do it, didn't even give me their t-shirt size and room numbers. Besties, that was y'all. But anyway, so that's just when I'm talking about people being aware. They in the newsletter that went out, and they read it. I know they read the newsletter. They because they all emailed me what it said to do, but they didn't put their shirt sizes in it. So I'm thinking nobody wants to do the t-shirt swap. Just say it. So it just tells you that people's comprehension. Joe's like, you tricked us. Yes, I did. I wanted y'all to be aware. So again, that's what I mean by awareness. That's how, remember we talked about the cell phone that flew across the room and nobody saw it? Well, that's what I mean by people are just not always aware or fully see the surrounding. They pick out the pieces that are important and then they put the rest aside and they miss important stuff. Be aware. Yes, I know you had a sick kid, Jamie, but what about the rest of your family? There's 3 other members of your family going. They all missed it. So anyway, I'm just, but that's what but again, like I said, I'm having fun with everybody, but that's what I mean by people's awareness. Sometimes you have to pay attention to the details. You might miss the detail. You might miss the ball that rolled across the floor by itself for no reason because your mind might be somewhere else. You might miss the door open before you could touch it. Because you're in thought. And that's my whole point about being aware. Being aware. Okay? So there are miracles that happen around you every day. I have so many people that come to me and tell me, my mother, my father, my sister, my spouse, my significant other passed away, and it's been a year, and they haven't reached out to me one time. The only thing that I would say that why that may not have, I think they have, and you haven't seen it. But the only thing that I might say that you didn't see is if you're in that much grief that they can't get close to you. So remember that you use your senses to connect. So they also connect to you and can feel and sense in those things too. And if you're always feeling very heartbroken and sad, that energy doesn't necessarily pull them closer to you. It took me a long time to understand that. And it probably wasn't to the death of my father, which was just a couple of years ago, that I realized that I made that connection, because I was comforted about his passing because his quality of life was not where it needed to be. And I was okay because it was time. And though I miss him and, I wish it wasn't that way, I knew that it was what was best, and he was in a much better place because he was getting to the point where he was starting to just totally not have any memory or any, and starting to probably, his body was probably starting to already break down. So I didn't want him to suffer, so for me, I was more comforted in his passing, and I still have conversation with him to this day, and we still talk, and we didn't have the best relationship, for a long time. Towards the end we did. We had a much better relationship, but years ago we did not have the best relationship, and I'm okay with that. I think he's okay too. I mean, we're okay now. And so we still have those talks sometimes in the shower, because like I said, I talk to my dead people in the shower. And I've told, so Anybody can tell me why I talk in the shower with my dead people because I'm crazy. Yeah, I know. But does anybody remember what I told you why I have that connection in the shower with my loved ones on the other side? I say it a lot. I say it a lot in classes, especially. Come on, who knows? Oh, me too. Does anybody know why I choose the shower to have my conversations with them? I'm going to tell y'all in a minute. Jamie goes, I didn't mean to make you feel guilty, Jamie. I'm just saying you didn't pass the test. The running water. Very good, Mac. Very good. That's very close. There's two reasons. One is the fact that water is a great conduction. But the main reason is the shower is the closest thing to a mediumship cabinet. If you've ever done physical mediumship, there you are in a box that's closed with a curtain. Well, when you're in the shower or a car or in a closet and you're blocked in, that will so what the thought process is there is that every time you're talking to them in that area, because it's enclosed, you're keeping that energy there. So when you go back in each time, it's easier to connect. And yes, the water is an excellent conductor. Thank you, Mac, for getting that. So that was very good. But also the fact that it's a lot, and I wouldn't expect somebody to know unless you've been to a real seance with a physical medium, you might not know what a cabinet is. So it's yes, Zita, it's like a spiritual area that you made your spiritual area. And that energy will house there. And so and the water's a great conduction. But cars, how many of you in a car can, like, you will hear us, you will start singing a song, then it'll come on the radio. But even so, even if you don't know it right before it comes on the radio, you will sometimes, when you're listening to a song on the radio, you can sing the whole song. But if I turn that radio off, you don't know all the words, but you knew them when it was on. Let me tell you why that happens. That really is a good lesson in energy. So the radio station sends that signal, the waves are in the air, and you're picking them up before it hits the radio. So technically, especially if you got fillings in your mouth or anything metal, you really are a good connector. So you actually are picking up the radio vibration before it hits the antenna and before it comes across the radio. You're feeling that energy. I've been able to. People always ask me, and I love this when people say this. You're such a psychic. Give me the lottery numbers. Well, let me tell you, I've called the lottery numbers out twice. But there's a catch. I was watching it on TV, and I was able to call them before they rolled out. That's too late to play. But what I was doing was I was able to pick up the vibration of what was coming across before it did, and I was able to call them out. I've done that twice already. I don't even know if I could still do it, but I've done that twice, and I've had it witnessed once. So I've been able to call out the lottery, but it's as they're coming out. And it's just because I'm not picking up the lottery numbers. I'm picking up the television wave, when they used to put them on TV and they would just a little ball roll out. I was able to call them out, the numbers out before they were done. Now, something else that I've done, and it was under hypnosis, was I was taken under hypnosis to a casino, and I was able to go into trance states, and I was able to pick out 1 in 10 of the roulette wheel, and roulette pays 33-1. But then we got kicked out of one casino because they knew something was going on, because I was in a daze and I was just calling out numbers. So again, these things can happen with practice. It takes practice. Nobody's special. I don't care if you're born with the veil on your face. I don't care what you experienced as a child. Everybody's born with it. Some people are just easier at it. They say that some people who have that veil are a little more right-brained, so they sometimes can pick it up a little easier. That's why. That's the science reason behind it. I'm all about the science of mediumship. Y'all should know about metaphysics. I believe it like it is a science, because once you understand vibration and you understand plasma, like the plasma in your blood, you start understanding all that. It starts to make sense, and you can see the evidence unfold. And I have been blessed to see so many miracles and sit with so many people that are professionals in this business and got to see the work that they do. There's a wonderful scientist in Brazil. She has gone on she went on one of my Touch and Eternity. She was at one of my Touch and Eternity events. Phenomenal evidence this scientist would give you. Your loved one would actually appear in the fog, and you can actually see and have a conversation, so somewhat conversation at times with them. Because she would also get recordings too. So again, I think by 2050 that mediumship will be extinct. Already numerology is extinct, because there are things you can do now and astrology is becoming extinct, and tarot will soon be extinct. Mediumship will take some time. It will probably be around 2050. I think by 2050, you'll be able to call your loved ones up on the other side from the cell phone and actually have some kind of conversation with them. I think we're headed there. And there's the evidence I've seen through all my travels. And again, I don't expect you to believe this, because unless you've walked in my shoes, you won't believe it. That's okay. It's not meant for you. If anybody, so a lot of y'all know Penn and Teller and James Rand, they've offered $1 million to the psychic or medium that can prove the existence of life beyond this life. And if they would ever come to me, I would tell them, you will never experience that because you're not worthy. You're not open enough to understand it or see it. You're going to always use your energy to counteract it, because it's what makes you famous. You ride on the coattails of people, of being that one, you think you are exposing people. So that's your vibe. That's your energy. People don't really look at it, like that, look at it that way. But truthfully, that's what it is. That's their vibe. I got to do the puzzle piece on TikTok. Got it. Yay. So anyway, let me take down this Touch and Eternity thing. So we have this cruise. Oh, let me show you some of the events. So let me see here. So that's Miss Aurora. She's one of the y'all can't see this. Miss Aurora. She's the lady on the medicine trail that we're going to go see. She's going to teach you the herbs. And then here's the spiritual cleanse that we're going to go to and go swim in a cenote. So you're going to go get blessed in there and swim, and that's where all the good stuff is. Let's see. So that's medicine trail, cenote. I got to get rid of all these things now. And this is not onboard students. Let me get rid of all this stuff. What is the other thing there? That's that. Okay. So this is people on my other screen, guys, on TikTok, so just listen. So the optional expenses for students would be this. If you want to take the tours, they're optional, but you get a discount. If you book a room through our cruise person, you'll get a discount. Aura photos. If you're a student, you pay for the first photo. That's $40. And then you can take photos with your cell phone during the entire cruise. Anytime there's a healing, anytime you get another one, but it has to be on. You have to take it. We're going to show you a picture. You take a picture of it with your cell phone. So the aura photos will be available to you. The only other cost I think you'll have is if you do the meet and greet, the t-shirt that you create, you can make it or you can buy it. That's going to be an extra cost. And if you want a private reading with one of the tutors, that will be extra as well. But other than that, everything else is included. Now, if you're not a student, these are the prices. Somebody was asking me this yesterday because they were wondering what should they do. So if you're a non-student, your t-shirt, if you want to do the t-shirt test, you have to pay for that. Some drinks when you import will have applicable taxes. If you import, when you get out of port, those taxes go away. The mediumship gallery will be $40. The seance will be $40. Story time will be $20. These are for non-students. These are all included if you're a student. The aura photos is $40 for your first one. And anytime you want to print it one, it's $40. Anytime you want to do it with your cell phone, it's $20. So you have to pay for your aura photos if you're not a student. Classes are $100 for each 2-hour class segment. And if you want a private session with one of the tutors or speakers, that's going to be an extra price too. And that's for the non-students. That's for your friends that you want to bring along with you on the cruise, that have a good time with, that may not want to do all the other stuff. So that is for, that's for them if they do want to just do one thing or two things, that's what they do. And here is, just if you go to my website, sid-patrick.com, everything is going to be there. The schedule, the classes, where we're going to be, and what country, what port we're going to be in. It's all there. Okay, now let's get this off the website here. And let's go back to full scene. There we go. There I am. Now y'all have the same scenery. TikTok and everybody else. So, again, guys, the thing, when people ask me, especially when we get into mediumship, when they ask me, how do I become a good medium? How do I get there? And I like to tell people the number one thing to get you to being the best medium is understanding who you are. And that's why energetics helps so much when we get to, if you do that class before you go into your mediumship, because it helps you understand who you are. Because the one thing that will trip you up every time in mediumship is your ego. And I don't mean that like because you're bragging about it, but you don't want to be wrong. Your ego prevents you from accepting being wrong. Your ego will prevent you from seeing something a certain way because you don't want to think that way, or you think that couldn't be possible. Those things. And let me tell you, when you let it go, I have so much fun. Literally, I had person come out in a reading last week, and I literally looked at him and said, "Who's sleeping with the priest?" Because everybody said, "Oh, that nobody." And then one person sunk in the chair, and all of a sudden because everybody knew everybody in the room. The other person looked around, looking out "All right, why didn't you tell us?" So I'm like, "Oh, sorry," But Mom came through and was like, "Okay, what's this thing with the priest?" It's like. Things happen. And so I want to say I was blessed this past weekend. I had 2 wonderful sessions. I had a grandmother and her granddaughter. The grandmother had seen me once before. The granddaughter had never been to a medium. And then I had a family of about 6 people came in, and I read for them. And there was so much love that day. When you get loved ones that come through that are just so full of love and joy, it just makes your whole day. I was feeling good all day because of the validations that came through for these loved ones, and to see them leave with such love in their hearts and joy just makes you get all choked up. Ooh, Sid. Anyway, I can't go down there. I'll be wiping my eyes, and then God knows what'll happen. But anyway, so I'm going to pull a couple of cards. I'm going to do some 1-carders tonight. So if you want a reading, or you want me to pull a card for you, you need to say so in either TikTok or on YouTube or Facebook, and you need to put it in the thing. And Jamie says she wants a card, and I saw her on TikTok. Go figure. All right, Jamie, I'm going to pull you a card, love. Mark, are you watching? I got the devil for Jamie. I love you, Jamie. Anyway, so let's talk about that. Okay, Mac, I will let you know that in just a minute. Let me finish with Jamie, and I'm going to do Mac next, because Mac asked me a question on here. Guys, on TikTok, it's hard for me to keep up. Kim and Mac, okay, I got one for each of you. Okay. And then nobody else put on TikTok just yet, because if you do, it's going to scroll up and I'm not going to see it. And Cindy, I'll get to you in a minute. So the devil. So Jamie, let's talk about that. So the devil is sex, drugs, rock and roll, girl. It's party time. If you notice, and I'm going to teach all this. If you notice on this card, the devil, the two people here, they're chained up to the post that the devil is sitting on, and they're chained. If you notice, the chains around their neck are very loose. So that's why this card is the card of sex, drugs, and rock and roll, because we want to party. We want to be there, even though we don't think we're supposed to be there. We're doing things. So Jamie, what you up to? Hopefully it's the first thing I said, not the other two. But anyway, I'm laughing at her. And the one that represents the devil is not the devil. That's Pan. That's a Greek mythology. So, and I was just asked by Mac a question. And the question I get is this. So Mac, what it says to me to tell you about that with your teenage child is to hold back a little bit and wait to see if you get some results. That I think that you might be being a little harsh too much. But you need to hold back a little bit and test. So, discipline, hold back, test, or do what you need to do, then test. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but when I see this card and I saw your question, that's what comes to my mind. It's like, do what you need to do with them and then pull back and see if they've grown. If they haven't, then you got to push a little more. Okay? So I'm going to say that to you. And then Kim, your card is the Hierophant. So Kim, I think you're going to have a lot of spiritual stuff because the Hierophant is the Pope. So I think you're going to be blessed with a gift that came straight up. So I think that's very positive. I think that you have a gift, a blessing coming out your way soon. So, Max says, yes, that's what I'm doing. Thank you. I think you're doing the right thing there. That's how you're handling it. It says bear down, then pull back and see if there's some growth. And if you're not getting any results, you might have to make some change in the way you in the way you're pushing. So look at some other things there too. And Kim, yes, like I said, you got the Hierophant here, and that is basically about religion. It's about you getting a blessing coming your way. Something very good is coming your way. And then the next one I had was Cindy, and then I have Glenda and Veronica. Okay, so Miss Cindy, you've got the Seven of Cups, which tells me that right now, everything's kind of happening all at one time for you, that you got to wait till the smoke clears. So right now, I wouldn't make any major decisions. I'd kind of wait till the smoke clears some, till you can really see what's going on. I think you need to hold off for about 30 to 40 days is what I'm hearing, and then get back into decision making. And the next one is Glenda. Glenda, the card I pulled for you is the Three of Swords. And this usually means one of two things to me. One, there's some family issues that need resolving and or some type of minor surgical procedure. So it's going to be either one of those. So I'm going to say that to you. And then Miss Veronica, you've got Justice. So it's all about being fair right now and taking care of anything legal that you need to take care of. And yes, Kathy, I will get you a card. Okay, I see you on TikTok. TikTok is kind of hard for me to see because everything's real small. So Kathy, I'm going to say that to you. You get the Justice card. It says, continue being fair. Continue doing things that are right. If there's anything legal that's come up, it will be in your favor. All right, and this is for Kathy. I'm saying that one was for Veronica. This is for Kathy. Kathy, you have got the Six of Cups, which is all about home life, family. It's about sharing. It's about sometimes having to give a little to get a little back. And so I want you to think about that in things that are happening right now. You may have to give a little to get some back. So I'm going to say that to you. And yes, Rosalind, I can pull a card for you too. And Christy, I'm coming to you next after that. Rosalind, I pulled for you the Two of Coins. And what that tells me, there's a little bit of balance that needs to happen right now. So it says, look at things, get them in balance right now. There's a little bit of rocky roads that come, but if you can get things balanced now, that wave will be easier to ride. Okay, and I think this is going to happen around February. That's not in the card, that's in my head. Something just told me, tell her about February. There's something about February that's really going to apply to. So I'm going to say that to you. And then I've got Miss Christy. I pulled this. Oh, Christy. Oh, ooh. All right, Christy. You've got the Eight of Cups. What that says to me to tell you is that there's at one point you just got to walk away. That you can do what you can do, but you got to put things in real perspective for yourself. And if you need to walk away, you need to walk away. That's what that means. Because you asked me, how is your dad doing? So what it tells me is, you can do what you can do, but at one point you just need to stop. Stop doing things that you're not appreciated for. Do what you can, but if you're not being appreciated, you need to walk away. I'm going to say that to you. All right, let me give them another shuffle since I got a little pause. And I will say that if anybody else is out there and wants me to pull them a card, I will. If you want to ask a question, you can ask a question. If you just want me to pull a card and tell you a little bit about the card and what I feel with it, I will do that too. Whoop, there goes TikTok. I knew that was going to happen eventually. Sorry about that, TikTok folks. I got a different cord on my phone tonight, so I had to put it a certain way, so it's standing up, but not greatly. And if I hit this cord, it falls over. So I hit the cord when I started shuffling. All right. You're welcome, Kathy, baby. I do these pretty regularly. Sometimes I'll do 3 cards. Sometimes I'll use both decks. Sometimes I will... I've been getting... Yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed, but every time I picked up them symbology cards tonight, I've been getting lots of color. There's only like 4 colors in that big deck. 4 or 5 maybe. It's not many colors. And I've been getting a lot... I've been picking a lot of color. Maybe that's telling me I need to do aura photos some more. I'm getting ready to do a whole bunch of aura photos in February and then in March. And I need to put my sheet together for the wedding. I gave that to Magni, but he never got. So we're going to start doing weddings locally. We're going to try. Kim says, "Can you tell me if my dad is at peace past 2 years ago?" So let me tell you about the other side, Kim. A little bit, so you'll know. I don't have to pull a card. I can answer that for you. So when you cross, like I said, when you transition, you take in vibration with you. Well, the only vibration that makes it to the other side is that vibration of love. If someone doesn't have that love, that true love in their heart, when they get over, they may feel a little empty. But that's when they go into a place of learning. So yes, they're always with you. They feel no pain over there. They have no regret over it. It's all about knowledge and wisdom. And the whole purpose in life, even when you're on the other side, is to raise your vibration so you can be one with the ultimate, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. But you want to raise your vibrational level. And anybody that's had an NDE, which is a near-death experience, will tell you they feel immense love when they're crossing over. They feel I know, Christy, because I've seen you out. No, but anyway, I like to tease her. But anyway, you feel immense love when you're crossing over. And so, if you could have that feeling when you're, in your life and you already have that going for you, you're going to take all that with you. So that's less that you're going to have to deal with and learn or become aware of on the other side. Make sense? So try to understand it. When you transition, heaven and hell is not up and down. God is not somebody out here that you're talking to. You don't pray to God. You pray with God because he's within inside of you. If you read the true Bible and you go back and read not all the updates and let me control you dates that are made in the Bible, but if you go back and really look at a lot of old religious scripture, and you realize that Jesus didn't have a religion, Buddha didn't have none of those people that people pray to or pray with. They never had a religion. They all preached love. They all told you that's the only way you're going to get to meet your Father or your Maker, whatever they want. And one book they took out was the book of the Virgin Mother. That was removed out of the Bible because it gave women too much power because they have the real secret to the other side. Know that. And you can find that there are some Ethiopian scriptures that you'll find a lot about the Blessed Mother and the feminine divine vibration. And that was taken up because men wanted to control. And so when you start understanding that, and there's a really good, I wish I knew her name, but she's on TikTok. She's really good. Like she has studied religion of all kind in many different faiths, and she's pretty much a knowledge. She has like classes on TikTok and on YouTube where she really talks to you about old scripture and what it all really meant and stuff. She's really good. Love following her, and I just can't think of her name right now off the top of my head. But you know, if you're looking at scriptures anywhere after the 1800s, all you're reading is misogynistic detail that was placed in there to create division, fear, and give power and control over someone else. So you really need to go way back and look at everything and just kind of see. But the whole purpose of any of this, and again, I'm not trying to change anybody's religion. I'm not telling you not to go to church, because you need to have a place to go, because faith is important. No matter what faith it is, faith is important so that you can have that vibration, so you can have that, you can reach that energetic thing. And that's why I try hard not to dislike people. And I don't. I can't think of anybody that I truly dislike. There's some people I don't care to have or be around because they can be irritating, but I don't dislike them. I don't wish them any harm. I only wish them love. I wish them that they find a better way in life, that they find things. I mean, so I tell people, when you do that, then there is peace. You will pass with peace. So your father is very peaceful on the other side. He's learning. If he didn't come from that place of love, then he's learning, but he'll get it. He's going to have another chance, or he's going to have, he's going to be able to raise his vibration at every step as his journey, even with transition, happens. And one of the things we teach in energetics that I want to point out to everybody is that when you have a thought in your head, ask yourself, who gave you that thought? Because you didn't learn that on your own. Somebody somewhere, because all that's generated from your left brain. So ask yourself, who taught me that? And it's like getting better control over your thoughts, putting more positivity in your letting go of your words. Fill your plasma around your body with positive vibrations, so you can attract positivity to you, not negativity to you. And those of you who took my energetics session, I know I sent y'all a bunch of videos and stuff, and the one I sent y'all recently about cancer was phenomenal. It told you how to rid your body of cancer, literally. But some people don't want to do the work. Some people, believe it or not, some people would rather die than do the work. I've seen it, and it's because they can't admit to themselves what's going on. So there are lots of things that could help you. Linda's like, I have crazy thoughts. Girl, me too. But those are just thoughts. But when you speak, you want to put positivity out there. If I remember her name, I will let you know. I can tell you she has red hair. She has a ring nose. She's on TikTok. She's all over. She's on Facebook. She's on YouTube. She was raised in Christian nationalism. And then she got out of it because it's kind of cultish to her, and then she continued her religious thing. She went over to Israel and studied over it in Israel. She can read and quote that Bible back and forth from different time zones, like when it changed. She's got to have a really high IQ, because this girl can remember things that I can better remember, my name sometimes, and she just boom, boom, boom. She whips it out, and she does Bible study online. She actually does Bible study online, and helps people understand the real meaning behind things, and what created those meanings. And even the negative things, she'll get in there and talk about why that happened and what era of history did that happen in, and this is why that took place. She's really knowledgeable, and you can fact check her, and because I have, and she's usually 100% right in what she says. I've not caught her in a lie yet. I haven't caught her in some I don't want to say lie, because I don't think she would intentionally lie. I have not caught her in any misinformation yet. And I spot check her, but just because if I'm going to follow somebody, I want to make sure that I'm getting something that's not full of propaganda. I just wish I could see. Yeah, my mom passed with cancer, Kim, so I understand that. My mom was only 48 years old when she passed. It was horrible. But let me tell you, you can feel them. Once you open yourself up, you can feel them. They can let you know their presence is there. Look, when you start listening to my bedtime stories and you hear some of the things that I've experienced, the bed going down and someone crawling in and putting an arm around you and there's nobody there, and there's all kinds of things that can happen once you open up your heart to spirit and you truly learn to love mankind. I'm not going to even say people. I'm going to say mankind. And start understanding how everything is connected. How everything is connected. Well, Glenda, if you follow me on, was it TikTok or Facebook? If you follow me on Facebook, because I see you, send me a message if I can find that one I just sent out to my students who took energetics with me about cancer. I'll send it to you because it tells you, lists all the things to do to get rid of cancer. Bam, 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 bam. And it's not just spiritual. There's a lot of physical stuff you need to do too. They explain everything. So I'll send it to you. If you just got to send me a reminder, because I'm telling you, y'all know Stacy's in remission. And she follows most of the things that are on there for the majority part of it. So, and it explains a lot about how cancer forms, how to prevent it, like what causes it. And I'm doing a lot of things to prevent cancer I didn't realize, because I'm doing a lot of natural wellness. I'm mixing my natural wellness with my medical wellness. And so that's going to help hopefully prevent me from catching cancer. But I don't do everything I'm supposed to do, but I'm trying to do more and more so I can hang around, because everybody knows that my relationship is much younger than me. So I need to stay around for him. But anyway. All right, folks. So 10 o'clock tonight, I'll be back. I'm going to take a little break. I got to get into my bed clothes. I'm going to get into my robe and take off my top and just put my bottoms on. And I'm going to come back at 10 o'clock. And I'm going to tell y'all a little bedtime story. And this one is going to be a little more wower than the other two, because I say always, when I go into a segment, I always save the best for last. Because the guy, I'm going to talk about the guy. If anybody saw the first one, I told the story of the little redheaded boy, and I told the story of the old fellow. And now I'm going to tell you about the guy in the cabin and who he became. And who I also thought he was representing for myself. So we're going to talk a lot about the guy that had the cabin in the empty lot next to my house, that I could always smell the maple syrup and the cinnamon and the raisin bread, and I could smell teas and coffees, and all these beautiful smells would come out of this house, and that's what drew me there. And I would sit there with him, and we would not speak. We would just do telepathy back and forth, but I understood him and he understood me. So we're going to go on that journey tonight. I just hope I can do it all in 10 minutes, because it's a lot. Okay? So guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I will be back on exactly at 10 o'clock to do my bedtime stories with Sid. I hope to see you there. If not, you can always pick it up on YouTube or on TikTok, because they will be saved on TikTok as well. And guys, I am blessed to have you guys join me, so thank you. I am definitely, especially because this is not my normal night. For those of you who are new, I normally do this on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. In the United States, it's in the Central Time Zone. I'm in New Orleans, so that is when I normally do my live. I've been doing my bedtime stories at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will come on tomorrow night, possibly. It depends. I'm going to have family in town sleeping at my house. So if I can break away tomorrow for a little bit, I will come on. But it's just going to be maybe some Christmas stories and stuff. I may do some readings for you guys. If you're on that party or waiting for Santa to come knock on your doors or come down your chimneys. But anyway, thank you. See you at 10 o'clock. Bye.